Welcome back to Spider-Man Edge of Time. We have Deji for this one too. All you need to know, Deji, is that an evil scientist from the 2099 universe has gone back in time, somehow managed to change the past, transforming the Daily Bugle into an early version of Alchemax, and now both Peter Parker in his time and Miguel are in 2099 are trying to change things up.
So, Des, did you like Shattered Dimensions?
You told me we were going to do this Amazing Spider-Man 2. What the hell, guys?
For another time, my friend, for another time.
This game is not the best of a Spider-Man bunch, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 is worse.
Basically, Spider-Man Edge of Time is what I like to consider the start of Beanox's inevitable downfall with their Spider-Man titles.
And this was the second Spider-Man game they did, so that says a lot.
Was this a yearly release?
I think so, because Shadow Dimension was like 2010, I think.
Maybe that's the problem, because they were.
Oh yeah.
We had to make a new game every year. That totally wasn't going.
I mean, yearly releases work for some things, like sports games, where, well, I mean, if you're competent, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but EA, all you do is just add bits to it here and there while keeping the same code while polishing it up a little bit. Or unless you're 2K, in this case you fuck it up.
Or you're the makers behind the WWE games.
Yeah, that's what he said, 2K.
That's what I said.
Oh, I consider 2K more the producers, but I do see your point, though.
Gaming has gotten too expensive nowadays that you can't really afford to make these run-of-the-mill licensed games, especially that are yearly releases.
Mind you, they haven't gone completely extinct yet. Occasionally you see something pop up here and there, like
the new Samurai Jack game.
Yeah, that just got announced. But even so, you get some weird stuff, like the Terminator game that was done by the makers of that Rambo video game.
I am still shocked that game turned out to actually be decent, if not.
I still need to get a copy,
good.
but I'm actually really curious now.
Like, that game had all the ingredients to be terrible, but no, it was actually
Apparently, Java,
good.
the key to success was simply the fact that they took their time, because Rambo was very rushed, but this took like 6 years of development.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like making a good game takes time to develop. For the most part.
So here's the catch with Beanox here. Okay, their first ever game they made was in 2001, and then their second ever game was in 2007. Bit of a gap there.
Did
And
they
get
make
this.
ports in the meantime, like Edge of Reality did?
Nothing. Yeah, they made ports in 2003 and 2004, 2005 and 2006. So yeah, in between. Basically, yeah, a lot of their ports were stuff for either the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
The police are coming to get you, buddy.
Oh no!
Oh no, it's Activision coming after us for critiquing this game.
But,
yeah,
but Activision don't
Hold
own
on.
the IP yet.
Alright, guys, I need to stop because there's a cutscene. So we found Anti-Venom.
You don't know what you're doing.
I know enough. You have to die.
Or we both can live.
You think
It's because I didn't spend over 800 hours on CTR like Jova.
acting like you're so worried about me?
I'm worried about what you'll do to other people. And to me. But if you can fight it.
Yeah, I'm never gonna let you live that down.
And there's Sloan.
I always trust people who are trying to kill me.
Oh boy.
And for some reason, Dr. Octopus is there too. Okay.
Just there, out of the blue.
Good luck with that.
Kind of weird that they introduced Anti-Venom in this.
Oh,
I was mentioning this in the previous part, Edge, but there's the thing. Anti-Venom was barely introduced in the comics at this point in time, so it's even worse.
Let me put it like this. If you want a backstory on Anti-Venom, you were kind of out of luck because even the comics hadn't entirely decided what his deal was.
And now he looks more like in the comics, more bulked up.
I do believe this is one of Venom's costumes in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which was not a bad one.
And it looks better than 90% of that game.
Yeah. Dude, what a shock. The DLC looks better than the base content. Anyway.
Okay, I say this for all the faults that this game has. I will say I actually really like the score. Most of the boss themes are instantly recognizable. I don't know how he managed to do that without sounding the composer sounding too much like his previous work. I forgot the name specifically, Dej, but in case you need to know, he's the composer who did all the God of War games prior to the more recent one, basically all the Greek saga, and it clearly shows there's a clear imprint.
Yeah, I agree. There's like you can tell it is. It's not quite as good as I would say. It's not quite on par with his God of War 3 score, but yeah, it's definitely fine.
Anyway, a bit of a history lesson. In terms of Beanox, yeah, a lot of their work...
Oh no, it's a...
I'm sorry.
Sorry, never mind. No, you go.
Go on, Jonah.
Regarding Beanox, so yeah, to be fair, a lot of their work before 2007, where they made their second game, that's right, Beanox made the B movie game.
Didn't Edge of Time made a port of that?
God, I don't recall if they did.
Sorry, Edge of Reality. I keep forgetting fucking up with the names.
Oh, Edge of Reality. I don't recall.
But whatever, go on.
Yeah, so a lot of the work was import stuff until 2007 with the B movie game. Then their third game was in 2009. Actually, they made two games in 2009. One of them was the Monsters vs. Aliens video game, which they did for all platforms, including PC, PS2, PS3, Wii, and Xbox 360. And they also did Guitar Hero Smash Hits for PS2, PlayStation 3, Wii, and Xbox 360. Here's the thing about Beanox.
Hold on, Joe, you need to see this. So now I'm supposed to get to Venom in that room, but look at this. What if I just go to the scientist and try to punch him? I can't.
There seems to be an invisible barrier here.
This is bullshit. I should have been, telegraphed to the room with a cutscene. I shouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
That is pretty bad design.
Hello?
I mean, you couldn't even put him in a force field.
Sorry, didn't want to repeat Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Anyway, but actually, it's funny you mention that, Dad, because like I said before, this game blatantly steals stuff from Spider-Man 2000.
Interesting.
Oh, goody! More bickering between these two.
But hey, at least Eddie doesn't seem to be anywhere, so we won, totally won, guys.
Totally.
It's not like the sequence is built up as a horror sequence.
Right down to the growling.
Oh, to answer your question, the name of the composer is Gerald Marino.
Thank you. Oh no.
Guess I can go back now and take
Yeah, I was looking it up during the boss fight.
Now defiant grab.
That's not helping.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anti-Venom was sort of supposed to be a cure to...
The symbiote.
Yeah, the symbiote.
And drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in its early stories he tried desperately to solve the drug problem by draining all the junkies from their addictions, not even joking.
Yeah, and it worked apparently.
True, but he realized sooner that he couldn't take out the cartel and he was damaging more the people he tried to help. So...
Hey, remember the time when Venom was a mobster gang leader?
Remember when he was a wrestler alongside Hulk and we're gonna beat you up?
So were they like rated RKO or DMX?
I don't know. Anyway, this is where the fight starts to become more scripted because Eddie Brock keeps regenerating and Spider-Man and Peter, as you can see, starts to lose his strength. In order to represent all of the edginess, Peter's costume is gonna get torn more and more as the game goes on. Whoop.
Ow.
Eddie, don't you get it? This is your chance to take back your mind.
You know, if he has a chip in his head, that kind of negates it, dumbass.
Oh no.
Well, crap.
Yeah, Miguel, you need to hurry up. See if they actually do care, despite the fact that they beaker constantly.
So, what could Miguel possibly do to save Spider-Man in the past?
What can Terry McGinnis do?
Yeah, when you get down to it, Batman Beyond was DC's answer to the 2099 universe. It's a shame they didn't do that much more with it. I feel
In
like
the
there was
comics,
potential.
they do, but
Yes and no, Danger. There was an attempt in trying to canonize officially Terry McGinnis more into the mainline DC universe, but it was always more like what ifs as for stories and the such.
I guess, it sort of provides the usual issue here. Hey, comic book writers may want to do something with the future, but if the future is already decided with something that takes place way far into the future, like Batman Beyond, we may have a problem here, now won't we?
especially since Damian Wayne exists.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, to about Edge, considering that the deal at the time of his recording is stepping down from the direction of DC, maybe things can get turned for the better. I don't know.
Wow.
And
What
since
is-
we're on the topic of 2099 and Batman Beyond, apparently Spider-Man Unlimited was supposed to be a 2099 show.
It was.
I remember
actually.
her
I can
theories
definitely.
talking about that,
You can definitely see the inspiration in that,
Yeah.
especially of how his suit works and the. It is such a shame. Poor Spider-Man Unlimited. It was a show with a lot of good ideas here.
But it was bad.
Yeah, the execution was not the best. Also, it was
I
very
don't-
unclear if it was supposed to be a sequel to the animated series as well.
I fail to realize how having Spider-Man break the fourth wall every 5 seconds is a good idea.
No,
honest.
Pedro.
That's
We're talking about
Ultimate Spider-Man.
We're talking about Spider-Man Unlimited, not Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. I
Spider-Man
confused.
Unlimited was the incredibly 90s follow-up to animated series. Now, if it was an actual sequel or not is still debated to this day.
I always thought it was.
I guess we can consider it
Considering
is.
how the original animated series ended, I'm not sure.
Basically, folks, to sum it up, Spider-Man Unlimited is what happens when Spider-Man travels to a world completely overrun by humanoid animals and has to try and help solve the problems there.
So basically, Spider-Man in a furry convention.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Anyway, back to the topic of Beanox. So, yeah, they did Monsters vs. Aliens and Guitar Hero Smash Hits in 2009. Then, where their Spider-Man career started was, 2010 with Shattered Dimensions for PC, PS3, Wii, and Xbox 360. And then Edge of Time came out in 2011 for Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 3, Wii, and Xbox 360. Surprisingly, not for PC. And okay, here's where things get a little tricky here. Now, sure, in 2012, they did Amazing Spider-Man. They actually waited 2 years before releasing Amazing Spider-Man 2 because, well, that's the year the movie came out, so of course. What it's not taken into account, of course, is that this is when Activision started to put Beanox on the Call of Duty train.
Yeah, basically, if you don't know, Activision decided to start a program where all of its major studios would have worked in some kind of fashion on Call of Duty. Raven Software, the guy that I mentioned, that the X-Men Origins Wolverine, and pretty much ever since their last original IP, Singularity, have been constantly put on strain on making the multiplayer modes of Call of Duty.
Oh, but wait, it gets better, folks! What were they doing alongside Amazing Spider-Man 2? No less than 1, 2, 3 Skylander games they were working on while doing Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I think they worked partially on the kart game that Skylanders had, hence why they had experience when eventually making Crash Nitro Fueled, CTR Nitro Fueled.
Basically, Tio, alongside Amazing Spider-Man 2, they were working on Skylanders Trap Team, which also came out in 2014, for no less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different platforms, all of which had to be engineered by Beanox themselves. Skylanders Superchargers, the kart racing game, which was released on 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 platforms, including flipping iOS. And then there was also... Huh?
I heard it was a good game.
Oh, yeah. It was a good game, despite all the pressure involving development on Beanox there. And then also coming out in 2015 was Skylanders Superchargers Racing. Yes, that is actually a different racing game.
The Wii game.
Yeah, that was made for Wii and Nintendo 3DS. So yeah,
Do they work with the toys?
But I'm almost there.
Toys for Bob.
Company.
No, I meant do you use the toys with the racing game?
Yes, there were
Yes.
special models also for DK and Bowser for the
That
Nintendo
was-
versions.
That was one of the issues people had, though. Granted, this was before the whole Toys the Life thing was starting to run on fumes. So, after 2015, then what they did, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Mind you, by this time, Beanox had unfortunately developed a reputation for how stale, and that's being nice, their Spider-Man games have been getting. Stale was considered the best. At the worst, there was Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is pretty much, well, think of it like the equivalent to Halo 5 for the Halo series. That bad.
Although worse, because I mean, at least Microsoft didn't lose the Halo IP after that game.
Well, the IP belongs to them. They can't lose it if it belongs to them.
Well,
Because they're talking about Destiny with Bungie.
Well, not just that. In general, after Amazing Spider-Man 2, Activision lost the license in general.
For good reason. In addition to being a terrible game, it was buggy.
It was a combination of things. Activision was losing licenses left and right. Disney was taking back its properties left and right. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, see, Activision couldn't seem to understand the idea of maybe we should take fan feedback into mind and not run our IPs into the ground. Granted, this was also at the time when they had no idea what to do with the likes of Crash Bandicoot, and Spyro was suffering a fate worse than death. So, honestly, who knows? Seriously, there's a reason people were afraid when Beanox were announced as the makers of the Crash Team Racing Nitro Field remake. Yeah, that game's turned out to actually be pretty dang good, and has gone on to be beyond just a remake, but quite possibly its own new game.
it was also, I mean, in terms of other similar games it was competing against, it was also a triumph of, what was it? What would be an accurate comparison that Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel did better that Team Sonic Racing didn't?
Hold on.
Oh snap. Oh no, Peter's dying!
Almost.
Yeah, he's died several times before.
He's still standing, Dweebs, but yeah.
Ow. Oh yeah, as we mentioned in a previous part, yeah, literally a year after this game was made, they killed off Peter Parker in the 616 universe.
Thanks, Dean Slot,
For some
again.
reason.
2012 was a really... 2012 was a bit of a really...
Don't you mean Dan Slott?
Yeah.
2012 was a really interesting year for Spider-Man. There was the really divisive movie and then was that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh my god,
And
he
of course
flew
they
a
were
spike.
gonna bring back Spider-Man because of the movie coming out, so they had to promote it.
I kept you close to keep an eye on you. Make use
I thought Disney wouldn't promote
Okay, Val, you can
quite on the studio.
slow down with the line reading. Come on.
I thought Disney stopped doing that out of spite.
Seriously, the way Val Kilmer
No, I think that was
line was
X-Men.
like, it was super close, super fast for some reason.
You tried to warn me.
God, this scene is very dramatic. No, I guess you could say it's a good
It
sense
wasn't
of
for
a
the bloom
directed
effect.
scene.
Huh?
Oh, isn't here.
On the one hand,
Seriously,
though-
everything is glowing here for some reason.
yeah.
By the way, this is actually where it happens. Like, this should have been a cutscene because having the player input when the movement keeps slowing down is, for the sake of immersion is just unnecessary.
It really can also mess the immersion if you choose to just stand still there.
Also, despite this, I still have to find more rules with Miguel. Jesus Christ.
Padding, this is a padding.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Actually, 4 parts in, and I forgot to explain the main gimmick of the 2099 universe. Well, I did mention in Shadow Dimension, but for the initiative, basically the gimmick in 2099 universe is that nobody swears anymore. So instead of fuck, they say shock. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of swear puns all the time, especially in this game.
You done shocked it up.
Pretty much.
You think that's gonna be a
shocked.
joke in Spider-Verse too?
Yeah, most likely.
Hey, have they confirmed the full roster for Spider-Verse?
No,
2 yet?
no, Joe. We're still far ahead. far away from it anyway.
I wonder, do you think they'll include the one where she's a pirate?
Well, we are getting the sent to Toei one.
Oh, they
That is
confirmed it.
good.
Yeah.
Yep, that is going to be awesome. Although, wait, don't we sort of have Penny Parker, who's already sort of... Well, I guess she's technically anime, and he represents the Sentai.
Yes.
Jova, the Spider-Man, remember Jova Marvel has an entire way of categorizing all of Sailor.
Come on, Spidey. Hold it together.
Oh no, Peter is about to totally die.
When do I get my own movie? We'll talk about it.
7 years from now.
And it'll be completely mediocre.
Oop.
Well, time to pull him into the future.
Yeah. Miguel pulled Spider-Man through the portal, meaning that Spider-Man now will ease into the 2009 timeline. And there's the Tokyo Ghoul's Law Walk.
Why the shock didn't he listen to me?
Did you see Tokyo Ghoul?
Get him.
Yes. Remember that's the pose and the slow walk. Holy shit!
Ow.
Please stop.
Jova, not for nothing, but I do need my ears.
Also, I prefer the shitty flute cover.
Alright, I'll do it, Laura. And,
Thank you.
Oh, thank God. We're
And yes,
safe.
So what the
Also,
shock are we going to... Oh,
oh, hey, Doc, you have a line in this game. Good to know.
yeah, Doc is literally just a scientist in this universe.
Not just that, he just shows up here with no build-up at all.
I
It
guess
reeks of
the-
unfinished product.
Oh,
it's
so
that-
he's Dr. Nefarious in the Ratchet and Clank reboot.
It's like the old 2003 game.
The gateway just needs a minute to recharge if it's going to send him through safely.
Dude, maybe you should act a bit more concerned, especially considering the certain plot twists we
Anyway,
find out involving you
there you go.
later.
Peter will have to heal in this pod,
Powering up.
while Miguel enters back the portal and has to finish the job.
So, you know what that means, guys? These Spider-Men are going to switch their timelines.
That's actually a neat concept in mind, and this moment is supposed to be the super awesome moment because
Worry, anti-venom will
because Miguel works differently as a Spider-Man compared to Peter. So now the roles are reversed, and Miguel is the dominant one in the fight.
If you have to know.
Nah.
No,
Again, okay, I'm just gonna say this. Considering who we find out who Sloan is later, he should have known and he should have cared.
Actually, Jovan Sloan is his own character. The person we will meet later, it's not him.
Well, okay, I know, but you think that you know who would have told Sloan? Just saying.
It's just say it's part of a problem with the time travel mechanics of this game, but all in due
What's
time.
that?
because
Time travel is a thing that you can constantly screw up because
Oh, that's
yourselves.
Let me just put it like
with
this,
the
Ed.
most.
With the plot twist involving this story's plot, they were asking for it. Like, let me put it like this. There are certain time travel plots where, yeah, you do end up messing up, but that's more by accident. Here, it's basically a case where they knew what they were doing. They could have planned better, but no, they just went full-on stupid with it.
And again, the writer is the same as Shattered Dimension, and that game was enough with the whole dimensional crossing.
Not only that, Peter David as a whole usually showcases himself to be one of the more competent superhero
So
writers.
what happened?
Hell, he was the guy who beat Bill Jemas at that You Decide bet back in the day.
Look, no matter what, can this plot twist be worse than I Am the Future?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Do you know what that is?
I guess you're referring to Professor Zoom, but for what?
No.
context?
Season 3 of The Flash.
Yeah, season 3.
Oh my God.
Actually, I haven't seen it yet. Anyway,
won't spoil it for
I'm
you.
trying again to see if I can punch Sloan, but no, still can't. All right,
But yes, Deds, just to fill you in, yes, it is actually worse than that.
Oh no.
Okay, Deds, let me put things into perspective for you. Have you ever heard of a plotline where the changing the future somehow changes the past? Because that's what this game pretty much opens up with.
Because ripping off Final Fantasy 13 2 is a good idea somehow. Although to be fair, this came out in the same year in Japan, so I guess.
Anyway, to have more problems, is the fact that Peter now is discovering that there are other people inside the room, and it's kind of a problem. So now since Miguel is in the past, it's time for him to cause some quantum causality.
Most likely they'll want to eat you for raw materials.
And you have a time limit for that. Good luck.
So somehow, and mind you, Deds, this is taking place about 99 years apart from each other. So apparently, somehow doing this will make it so that those people never show up 99 years later, because it's not like anyone may have started back the program back up. In
Okay,
99 years.
for this first part that I tried to do, I actually screwed up because I didn't exactly knew how to destroy the pods. But don't worry, once I died, I jump cut to the moment where I started, so you don't have to see the whole thing again.
Here, okay? Just hurry. I'm trying to...
Also, having to hear Josh Keaton trying to sound like super stoned is weird.
No, just listen to his Jack voice.
You know, it's weird how nowadays Josh Keaton, back in the day, Josh Keaton was known for playing Spider-Man. Nowadays, Josh Keaton is the one playing Norman Osborn in animated stuff. It's weird.
So you're saying is you had to dye your hair or love to see yourself become the bad guy?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Also, when it comes to actually voicing a bad superhero, I forgot, Pedro, remind me again, what year was the first No More Heroes?
2008, I think?
Because he does voice an evil supervillain there, and it's one of the funniest of the game.
By the way, who else is looking forward to No More Heroes 3?
I am.
Yep.
Josh, please.
No! I
Yeah,
shocking
whatever.
failed. Shock this game.
Shock you, mother shocker.
I mean, you gotta admit, it's the perfect way to swear without having to sacrifice monetization.
Alright, time to finish it. As you may have seen from the boss fight previously, Miguel also is able to remove the control chip that Anti-Venom has implanted inside him, so if we manage to remove all of them, he should be able to be defeated even with the whole regeneration thing.
So you think that would solve the plot, right? I mean, we pretty much have dealt with, the
Well,
major
this is
thing.
technically the climax of Act 1, but that means we'll have to move to somewhere else after this.
Finally. So, you maybe...
Not physically, though.
I know.
We're still stuck in the building.
Yeah, sorry, audience. Oh yeah, that's the thing, Deds. What do you expect in a Spider-Man? You surely you expect to be kept inside a building the entire time, indoors with a limited range of movement, right?
No. But hey, it's something new. So.
True, I suppose.
As long, look, I'm not against bizarre ideas as long as it's executed well.
I think here's the problem though. This is essentially a watered-down version of Shattered Dimensions.
Oh, here we go.
Also did stuff like this, but better.
Because isn't like Arkham
Hold on.
Asylum, you're basically in one area throughout the whole game?
Uh-oh.
Oh. Hey Sloan, maybe you didn't plan this out well.
Unfortunately, guys, Beanox kinda ran out of budget to hire Val Kilmer as a voice actor, so we'll have to say hello and goodbye.
Remember how they sort of hinted at this guy being the big bad? Yeah, he's not really.
And Dr. Octopus got dragged into that too, for a good reason.
Yeah.
Well,
Here we go.
Well, that will be just
Oh.
foreshadowing. We'll see a bit more in the next part, actually. So see you for that.
See ya.
See ya.
Alright.